Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date is July 18th of 2023, and it's 8:30 p.m. Um, I've been waiting for now 2 days for the UPS to pick up a package to go back to Verizon with the modem that I got from them to try and get their internet working, and I couldn't get it working here, but it's just don't know why. In fact, somebody suggested, and I agree, that probably it was defect in, this particular uh, modem that I got because other people. So, but by the way, I haven't done it in a while, but let me do a speed test here for you using uh, Spectrum. Speed test. And, Spectrum is what I've been using for a long time. Before that, it was named another company, and they've changed names, I think, about 3 times, maybe more. um, Now uh, when we got the Verizon thing in, it was the price, it, a lot less expensive than what we're paying for Spectrum. So, and I could have lived with the Verizon's, you know, uh, speed, and it'd been nice to have it at that price, but it didn't work out. So, I have no, uh, I have no inside information. I'm not real smart about anything. I have areas, but maybe a whole bunch of us do. If you could have some type of a spectrum thing that, that show up and it would show, hey, this person is really good at this, and this person is. I don't know if there is anything like that. So I'm not smart, except I have, an increased ability and a talent in a certain few areas. Unfortunately, they're not in the area of making money or anything like that. But um, I've been right quite a few times on quite a few things in my little niche. Um, and this is just a little story here on the front page of CNN that Trump talks strategy with his two uh, lawyers or whoever they are. And it's just probably, well, CNN has it, on the front page. Uh, but I'm thinking, and I probably odds are against me because I'm not that smart. I think Trump is looking to make a deal, and because it says here that he's him and his. I'm not sure if he's actually doing it. It says that he is, but Trump is not smart. There isn't any question about that. And anybody who thinks that Donald Trump is smart, I'm sorry for you. Uh, because you're not smart. Trump is not smart. Trump is super, super stupid. And then he has other problems on top of that. Now he could have, with the money that his father gave him. Of course, all the money that his father gave him, he has lost. He's gone bankrupt on everything he's done. Um, so he's not smart at all. Um, but the charges and the things that are hitting him. To anybody who was smart, I don't know if they'd be crying or be trying to find where's a place I can put a rope up to hang myself or something like that. I don't know what I don't know what they would do if they were in that kind of a position. Trump, is just in his own little world. He thinks he's smart. He thinks he's smarter than everybody else. He won't listen to, he won't listen to people. He won't pay people. I mean, everything is wrong with him that can be wrong with him. I can't think of anything that's a plus, for him. So I've just got this feeling that the last thing that, and there's more coming, the last thing that has just hit him or whatever, I think that he wants to make a deal, and I think he's willing to make a deal. And I think that he's looking at, but it's going to be hard, because he's going to have these smart attorneys. Of course, I think he's down. He's not paid. He's not paid so many attorneys. Maybe these are not the smartest attorneys and people that he has with him. Maybe they're not the smartest, but they're, that 10,000 times smarter than he is. I think he's looking to make a deal because I don't think he wants to go to prison, and he's looking at, just a short time back I was saying, well, he's a, former president of the United States, and he's doing, terrible things and doing stupid things, but do we want to be a third world country that, locks up our, political opponents and stuff like that? Do we want to do that? And but he's done so much and continued to do so much, and he's so arrogant and so loose with everything that he's doing. With you would think that you'd think sitting in the Oval Office, that, but no, when he was president, he wouldn't listen to anybody. He didn't want to get the security briefing every morning that the President of the United States, is supposed to get. Now, there's no rule. I mean, they can't come in and say, Mr. President, you have to listen to this, and you have to, all the other presidents, sit there and go through this briefing every morning. And Trump, Trump wanted to know, am I on the front page of the newspaper? I mean, just unbelievably. Oh, arrogant, stupid. He had no reason to be arrogant, but stupid in every way. But I think finally, it's starting to pile on him that he is, and with the rest of us, I think too, it's like, we don't want to put the President of the United States into a prison. I don't think we really have any choice. I mean, he's gone so far that you just have to say, okay, that's it. Yeah, now, prison, is he going to go to, the worst federal prison that there is, put in with with those people you don't want to be with, the people, if you saw them on the street and you knew, who they were, you'd be like, oh my God, run in the house, lock the door, But I don't know what you do with him, because if you tell him he can stay at his Florida resort that's got everything apparently. I've never been to a resort. I wouldn't know, but he wouldn't listen. He would. He'd say that he was going to go out, or he'll make a deal, and then break the thing immediately if. But I think he's going to make a deal. I think he knows that. I think at this point, the stuff that's been piling on to him, and he's guilty of all those things, every one of them. It's not the FBI trying to get him or the anything like that. He's done all this stuff to himself, and he admits to it. When he was president, just about every day that he was president, he'd be talking, and thinking that he made, hey, has the camera got my orange coloring good, those kind of stuff, do I have toilet paper stuck to my shoes, he just is his own little world. I feel sorry for him in that regard. But what the damage that he has done to the United States, and the things that he's done are just unforgivable. The lives that were lost because of the COVID, virus and that type of stuff. I mean, him telling people, maybe drinking a bleach, not maybe, well, drinking bleach and just everything that he did, saying, oh, this is in the beginning, oh, this is going to pass over. It's just like the flu that comes through every year. I mean, all the things that he's done has just been horrible and hurt the nation greatly. And he's responsible for, we don't really know how many deaths that he's responsible for, and the things he's wanted to do, taking the United States out of NATO. I mean, all those things. So I think that he is thinking that at this point that he's going to make a deal. The only problem is he wouldn't abide by it. I mean, if the rules would be, number one, you're not running for president of the United States. In fact, you're not allowed to run. You have to sign an agreement, with the court. This is a court thing. This is an agreement, something new I haven't heard from my cell phone. Trying to look and see if I hit a button with my foot, big old foot, swollen feet. I think he wants to make a deal at this point. But I think he thinks that he can get a good deal because he's Donald Trump. And he's not going to get a good deal. He'll be lucky to stay out of prison. He'll be lucky, to not be, be wearing leg chains, and handcuffs and everything else. I think he's going to try to make a deal. And the deal is going to have to be, you're never going to hold any political office, ever. Also, you'd have to do something. I don't know how you would do that. Legally, I guess you can do that, in the deal that is made between the court and between the felon. I guess he's not a felon yet. Well, he's committed felonies, but he hasn't been found guilty of them yet. But the problem with him, he's so unbelievably stupid. He would make the deal after, and they would explain to him, this is what this means. You can never hold political office in the United States, ever. And you can't do this, and you cannot do this, and this is, you're signing this is the deal. But I think the next day, I think if he signed all this, he just could not keep himself from getting on Twitter or wherever he gets onto, and then, doing his craziness and stupidity stuff that he does. So I don't know even though I think right now he is desperate and to make a deal, he won't be able to keep it because he's just that stupid. Other people in his situation, they'd say, okay, you can't do this. And they would, okay. Maybe check with them later. Is it okay if I do this? And they'd say yes or no or something. With Trump, he's going to know, he's going to just decide, no, I can actually do that. But now I have no expertise in politics or law, I took a community college, I took I'm just going to took constitutional law, but all we studied was the Supreme Court opinions about law enforcement. You know, stops, Terry versus, all that kind of stuff, all that kind of stuff. That's all, So I don't have but I think that he wants to make a deal right now. Now maybe he's changed his mind because, let's see, former president called top aides on Capitol Hill to talk with them, to talk about how they will defend him ahead of likely charges. And now if he does make the deal, I don't see how he can do it, because he will not, abide by it, because he's stupid with everything else that he has, arrogant, but he's stupid. I don't see how he could abide by it. And now, what effects would that have on the upcoming election? Trump would not be a candidate. And yeah, what effect that's going to have? That would, it would loosen up. I mean, then the Republicans, who are running, to be the Republican. I think Chris Christie's the only one who's, the others are, like the one guy I don't even know who he is, that said to the others that are going to be in the debate, the Republicans are going to be in the debate. He says, every one of us, and we don't know who's going to get the nomination, yet, to be the Republican candidate, but every one of us has to swear that the first thing we'll do when we are elected President of the United States is that we are going to pardon Trump. I mean, that should be, God, I mean, anybody, those people shouldn't even be in the Republican caucus or whatever, having a convention, and whatever. I mean, just, they are, cuckoo land. But if Trump does make some kind of a deal, I don't know what are the people. Would they be afraid to then say, okay, well, of course, I guess they could say, well, Trump's not running, so whatever. But then they're going to be asked by the news media, well, what did you think of Trump? What would you, and then they're going to have to. And if they say something like, well, thank God, now we have maybe a chance that the Republican candidate can win, because he's against Biden, and Biden falls down occasionally, or Biden is so old. I think there's 4 years difference between the age of Trump, I think, and maybe it's more than 4. I don't know. So that would be interesting, but I won't carry on about this too much longer because I don't have the credentials. It's just a feeling that I've got that Trump wants to make a deal. Now, what the Republican, even the guys that, well, maybe he does, maybe he actually knows, the guy the Republican who's running for the one of them that's running for the nomination, who says, the first thing we have to do, whichever one of us wins, well, one, you're not going to win. Because, Trump has hurt the Republican Party and the brand so much so that you're not going to win this time. And if you don't have to deal with Trump, you could try to turn yourself around, and who knows what happens down the road a piece. But I'm 82, so I probably won't be here to find out, thank God. You know, it's going to be, well, I guess, let me stop rambling along here like an old man. And, well, I've only been rambling on for 20 minutes. That's nothing for me. I had a couple people recently, fairly recently, here, you know, say that my videos are long because I want them to run longer, and then I can make more money from them from YouTube. Not true. It doesn't enter into my mind. And plus two, I'm not making any money from, you know, YouTube. Insignificant amount. You know, $20 or something after 2 or 3 months of making videos, making 2 or 3 videos a day. And I'm not making any money, you know, from, so that does not enter my mind if you think that's the reason. So let me wind up. Tomorrow I'm getting the things that I need to have my microphone stand working, the adapter or whatever. Goes on, but this doesn't fit onto my microphone. So anyway, I got $10 worth, I think, of these different adapters. So one of them will fit for sure. So that should be here tomorrow. Should I check in? Let me do a speed test one more time. You're asking, why are you doing a speed test? Why are you doing 2 of them? That's because I purchased back when I got, a couple of months ago, when I got the Verizon thing in. I also went ahead and got a TP-Link router, the AC1750, and I just now hooked it, up. So anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. Give a thumbs up or use a link or something below. Because I'm not stringing these things out in order to make money, because I don't make money from YouTube in that way, or in any way, really. So, thank you very much for watching.